Today's guest is Enzo, an up-and-coming actor who's been featured in Darmon Studios and The Comic Shop. I'm very excited about this conversation because we get to compare the evergreen truths and emerging realities of a performer in a digital age. Hi, Kai. Welcome to the We Live to Entertain podcast. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome, awesome. I was really excited to jump into this conversation with you, not just because of your resume, but I am a big fan of the comic shop. I mean, I loved hearing all kinds of stuff about how it came together, and it really speaks to what our footprint as performers are these days.
Yes, I was definitely surprised that she made a production like that because you don't really see many mockumentaries with leading women of color,
Mhm.
especially with like a mostly almost all black cast. So it's that's definitely important for representation, and it was awesome to be a part of that.
Oh yeah, yeah. Big fan of what Cheyenne was able to do, and it's really sent ripples through, particularly our community, as mostly improv forward, digital creator adjacent performers, where it's like, oh, we are all little Isas when we really think about it,
Definitely.
and it's all just so ripe to have an impact made. So it's so encouraging to see the work that is out there now that you're able to do. And I've been performing since I was about 4 years old, and I'm stuck with the contrast to meditate on, where it's all about like, oh, okay, when I started late 90s, early 2000s, I'm grateful to that environment because it gave me some early success. But when it came down to it, it gave me a lot less levers to pull. I found myself dealing with whatever system image of the industry that I was stuck observing. And now it's also fluid. It's also, interesting in a great way. And I look forward to stepping through it and, finding some of your insights today. But yeah, where are you from?
I'm from Michigan. Uh,
Okay.
I don't really know how to word it, but it's like I'm from Detroit, but I'm also from Westland.
Absolutely, absolutely. Where's Westland on the mitt?
I would think it's like somewhere over here. I
Very
don't.
cool, very cool. Yeah. I have well, one of my uncles that adopted me, he's from Detroit. I've always meant to go back there and spend some time there. But I do have a relative that does cooks at like a jazz club. So, Michigan's got some great stuff going on.
Definitely do. It's a good place for theater as well. I didn't realize that.
Okay, yeah. I mean, regional theater has been such a bastion. It's been like I know that was my first survival job when I aged out of child acting. So I ended up doing like production assisting, music assisting, and things like that. And it became just such an eye-opening experience to realize that there are performers all over,
Yes.
like doing good work. And it just really opened my eyes to the regional theater scene. And I think that's what a lot of people coming out of these programs need to open their eyes to,
It's-
right?
don't sleep on theater. It's
Exactly.
the
Yeah,
whole.
what was that like to one of these creators said, theater gives you technique, TV, TV gets you famous and film makes you money.
I heard of that. Heard of that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good stuff. But yeah, coming from Michigan, um, where what inspired you to like make a mark as an actor?
Um, I would say I was naturally always a very creative kid. So I'm always putting on these performances, always singing, always playing dress up and putting on little skits and stuff like that. Uh, then one day someone took an interest in what I was doing, and they're like, "Hey, you know what? Let's put you in some acting classes and stuff like that." I got put in the acting class, loved it. Then I moved out of Michigan, went to like a art school, tried to get in the theater program, got denied for a little bit, but the acting teacher really liked how passionate I was, and she allowed me to write little skits and sketches like that for the classes. I'll come in, I'll perform and stuff like that, and I'll do like little theater productions. And I guess over time, I kind of lost my way a bit,
Hmm.
and what made me want to pursue it professionally is after years and years of like trying to do what everyone else was doing, trying to be okay with that. Because, you know, when you get an adult, you get kind of sucked into this constant, repetitive 9 to 5, go to work, go home, go to sleep. And it was just, I needed a change. So I'm like, you know what? Let me go ahead and actually do something that I'm passionate about and that I don't have to tolerate. So that's when I started just doing a lot of research. And then I found my coach, Monique Jose, and did training with her a little bit. And then I was like, you know what? Let me go on a set, get some, experience. Came on as a background, and then it just started going up from there.
Oh, felt. That's amazing, dude. Yeah, it's like we always need an advocate, and there is always like that group of people, that handful of people that are like, "Oh, I see you doing that. You should be doing that for, your whole life." And then suddenly, like with that put in your lap, it's like, "Okay, how do I make a livelihood out of that? Okay, how do I fill my days with that?" So, yeah, with these wonderful coaches you have, what kind of like training philosophies been imparted to you?
Mm, It's, I would say, she does a little bit of like everything. So she hits improvisation, uh, learning how to be on set, set etiquette, character analysis, um, all the technical aspects when it comes to being on set. Um, just really embodying uh, different characters and giving you tools to really show or improve your range when it comes to playing different characters. So it's like she hits every part you could think of, but she meets you where you're at.
Oh yeah.
So because like people like if you start off with theater, it can be a little bit challenging to like break out of theater and get into television and film because the way that people perform in theater is way different.
Oh yeah, totally. I always liken it to like tightening the aperture on a camera, where
Mm,
it's like, oh, okay, yeah, we're just trying to make sure it's modulated to the right level. And then you, Tom Cruise has some great things to say about, adapting one's like full theatrical self to like a laser focused screen performance.
definitely agree.
Yeah. Now you said something really cool in your voyage article where it was like repair happens when you rest.
Yes.
So, how do you prioritize rest and how do you bring some of these wonderful training offerings home? And this is like a central question of like why I even started this podcast. This is like, okay, how do we all like, make use of our 24 hours and live a balanced, artistic, fulfilling life?
Um, to be honest, I don't think like pursuing this type of path, I don't think you'll ever really consistently have a balance
Hmm.
because the industry is very unpredictable, and oftentimes you have to work your life around it. So it's kind of hard to find balances.
Hmm.
Um, it's not healthy, but I just wait until I burn out, and then I'm like, okay, yeah, I need to chill. I need to chill out.
Okay.
I'm trying to get better with that, but I feel like recognizing a certain change could help you, or maybe like just like weekly check-ins with yourself.
Hmm.
sometimes you have to take like a day out of the week and be like, okay, I'm starting to feel this type of way. Maybe it'll benefit me a lot if I just take a break before I get to the point where I'm overdoing it and I'm being counterproductive, you know? So I try to take out time when I remember to just reevaluate and figure out, okay, how much time do I need to take for a break for myself and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's real important. Yeah, for me, it's all been about establishing these rituals, but it's always been on top of, finding a survival subsistence job, whatever you want to call it. It's always been on top of, drilling financial literacy into myself that, you know, you want to bet it all on black. You want to say, hey, I'm going for my dreams. But, you know, as we're finding with the Nepo baby conversation, with the even the private equity influx of stuff like Google and A24's union, and even A24 before that, like buying Cherry Hill Theater. We have to come from a place that makes sense on a balance sheet, and it's not always a mathematical one. As something I was just thinking about earlier, we are our own chemistry set. We're our own set of beakers, and the compounds that we're shifting between them are our human experience. So, yeah, it's all about finding what makes sense for us as the instrument, like a sentient instrument. Yeah. But I on the subject of the comic shop and your own evolution as a creator, those skits you were starting in class, um, do you have any like theory or insights to spit on the creator-driven nature of today's market?
Um, I definitely see a lot more people branching out and having the drive to do it more.
Mm,
I've always heard that if you don't see yourself, then create it. And I'm starting to see the same story over and over again. The more I'm looking at these breakdowns and I'm talking to people, I'm realizing that people don't really see themselves on screen. So representation is really important. And when I go on these sets where people are just making their own projects, I'm starting to see people in roles that you're not going to see on, on the big screen or like mainstream level of media. So I really do like that more and more people are starting to get that creative bug and create not only opportunities but representation for a lot of people that
hmm
don't normally have it.
Yeah, yeah. I always like to quip, diversity isn't the hill that I want to die on, but it is so important to see ourselves like represented because once we do, particularly as performers of color, of intersectional identities, of different socioeconomic backgrounds, and we're all, those studies are coming out, the UCLA studies that are showing that we are backsliding in traditional media on all of those fronts, but it's a ray of hope when we see web series come back. It feels like we've even evolved beyond the age of verticals. It feels like we've kind of come back into like, okay, yeah, verticals are a thing, but really it's like auteur-driven web series, kind of like a resurgence of, what we had in the 2010s in the college humor space, in Issa Rae, Awkward Black Girl. And now it's more democratized, which I'm very excited about.
So I can't wait to see more of it. Like
hmm
it's getting there.
Yeah, yeah. A pet project I have in mind is kind of like organizing guilds around all of these people popping up with their own web series to, inspire a bit of collective action where we can protect this cultural moment and have it kind of build, in the same way that Hollywood in its infancy rebelled from Edison and his patent and all the strong lawyers on the East Coast. So they were able to leverage distance and real estate to start the silent film industry. And then it evolved from there. So it makes you wonder, like, okay, if art imitates life and history likes to rhyme, how do we make that work? Particularly for, for people of marginalized identities, where we are, you know, vying for truth and parity and honestly, a right to live safely, considering what's in the news right now.
Yeah,
So, yeah, and I think actors, really stepping into their light as multi-hyphenate creatives is so central to that. Yeah, is there any like driving thesis around your work that's presented itself so far?
sorry, what did you mean by driving thesis?
Just sort of like any roles that, you gravitate towards more. Is there like a narrative you're hoping to tell, whether it be through your own sketches or through the roles that you take?
Um, I really, what I haven't been able to tell yet, like obviously I do want to tell a variety of different stories, but I really want to get more to the mental health aspect because I feel like we need more stories that showcase mental health
Hmm.
and not just like I wouldn't say glorify it, but actually just educate people on it because
Hmm.
everyone experiences things differently, and more than now than ever, it's really important that people are aware of different struggles that others may go through. So I really want to tell those type of stories, but also, just any story that people don't really know about or are not aware of. I feel like is worth telling. If it can
Yeah.
change someone's perspective or give them insight about something that can make them more open-minded, I feel like that's right in my alley.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, I mean, mental health definitely needs a light shone on it. And I feel like it is watershed of the sociological moment we find ourselves in, where we are meant to reflect the times, like Paul Robeson always says. Yeah, it's actually it's a Nina Simone quote too. So it's kind of like, hold on, if artists are meant to reflect the times, we need to, you know, come together and be the medicine. So, big believer in all that. And as far as like the meme that's going around, like, hey, the economy's so bad, you might as well chase your dreams. Some of us, got to be like, bet, hold my beer. And it sounds like you're doing a great job doing that.
Thank you.
Yeah. And on the subject of the creators of color of the past who were able to have a culture of inspired rebellion. Our Paul Robesons, our Nina Simones, our Fela Kutis. Um, are there any like voices or hidden figures in that way that come to mind for you? Because sometimes we're doing the work and then suddenly it's like, oh wow, I'm feeling an echo of like what Melvin Van Peebles did. I'm feeling an echo of, I don't know if it's like an ancestral plane situation, but sometimes when I'm in the moment, it gets like that. Do you ever have that experience?
Sometimes I do. Um, People that usually come to mind, I would say, hmm, that's hard because there's a lot of people. Um,
Nice.
Really random, I would definitely say Eric Andre.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah,
gosh. I just saw the most heartwarming video with Eric Andre. It was like a complex video, and he was just watching musicians. And I'm like, bro, you were so supportive. And he was like, of course you expect like some off the wall humor from Eric Andre, but really he's just being like, yo, respect. I used to play music like this, and then no one liked it, but now it's mainstream and we're here.
he
Amen.
made moves.
Yeah. But Eric Andre, oh my gosh. He is. You know, I always consider improv, sketch, musical improv to be the highest form of art because of the spontaneity and the plurality of skill that it calls upon. So, yeah, I'm big respect to Eric Andre.
100%. He makes it look easy, like
Hmm.
it's second nature for him. But
Yeah.
I like how he does his own thing, and he's like, you know what? Here it is. Like it if you like it, don't if you don't. But I'm still gonna do what I feel led to do. I
Mm.
like branching off into different things.
Yeah. That's
They,
a great thing to bring home anyway. It's like, yeah, it's a good universal truth. And for me, it's kind of been like a philosophical return to reverence for the craft. Because just like you were saying, it's like, okay, I'm going to do what I do. You lose yourself sometimes in pursuit over the craft. Like on my old one face of what we found we lived to entertain with was process over pursuit. And when I get those wires crossed up, like, oh God, do I need the mental health awareness stuff? Do I need the, reminders that we're not in this game alone? So when I get caught up in the pursuit of it, I definitely lose myself. And if I'm waiting on an industry that is, if we're being real, so fickle, if we're being real, reeks of corporatism in a way that a few creators are putting a face to a name to. Because like if we view ourselves the as part of like a larger system, which I feel like a lot of actors have been hesitant to make the connection of. But now that we're not just actors, we are our own content studios in our own right, our own multi hyphenates. We can have this conversation in earnest, particularly if we're open to the ideals of collective action.
I agree.
Yeah. But yeah, how do you feel like, a rank and file creative can position themselves better as, you know, a change maker?
I have to think about that for a
It's all
minute.
good. It's all good.
um, like as in general when they make their own productions, or just like at,
However they want to position themselves, because now we are in this space of curation being such a strong angle to it. Like, taste making, curation, just some examples in addition to the pressure of creating. Because I feel like that's another point that we buckle under sometimes, at least I buckle under, where it's like, oh, okay, I could commit to like weekly videos. The thing that kept me from committing to a content creator journey when I was like 14 were the narratives of like, oh no, you need to engineer scarcity of your image.
so trying to
Oh,
do the formula that's already put into place.
mhm.
Uh,
But that was back then. Now it's completely different. It feels like we have, so much of us as brands that we can, pour into. We have what we actually create, we have what we curate, we have, just our communities themselves to leverage.
I would say, hmm, that's actually tough.
No, it's good. We'll think about it, but it's like know that we have the power to think about it. And like a lot of kids from my generation have suffered not knowing that, not having those levers in hand, basically.
That is true.
So, with this reverence and return to the craft, like I cracked open Larry Moss a couple nights ago. and I was like reading it like like a grimoire, and I'm like, hmm, yes, Larry. At one point, he basically said, "I can give you great power," and I'm like, yes, Larry, I receive it.
Oh,
Yeah. Do you have any favorite craft books?
I I don't read much. I know that's bad, but
You
I
got to
did.
work on that.
I know I'm supposed to read 30 minutes a day.
Oh, well, that's better than me. Literally, I just like dive in to my bookshelf, read a couple passages, throw it back, dive in, get another, read a couple passages, throw it back. Eventually, I'll get through everything, but it's all kind of like it's like jazz.
That's better than not reading.
Hmm.
Um, I would say I was reading a little bit of what's it called? It's by my brain is like psh, it's it's the lady from The Office. She wrote a book.
Okay.
Actors.
Okay, Pam from The Office?
Yeah.
I'll look into it, but
Uh,
gotcha. But basically, yeah, I love Joseph Hacker's auditioning for camera. Yeah, we'll trade like lists of these craft books later on. But when it comes down to it, I'm like, oh yeah, Joseph Hacker's auditioning for the camera. It's all drills, and then it's all like practical, like how to interface with the camera. So I feel like I found out about this book online at the SAG Foundation about 15 years ago. This wonderful guy was like reading a copy. My mom asked him about it, and yeah, we shared some nice little anecdotes about the concerns that I had, just like you were saying, theater worlds away in you know nuance from film in terms of approach, and it was a big stumbling block when I was considering a college program that all of the projects and the film training was deeply underdeveloped. So we've made some glacial progress in that way, but really the only way to learn film acting is to get on set,
it's
get
the
on
way.
camera, right?
I believe it's actress. Hope I don't butcher her name. Melanie
Oh,
Lewinsky
yeah, okay.
got a lot of her experience on set versus
Mm,
classes. Like she found the best way for her to learn is just put yourself in it and learn as you go. I
mhm.
had to do that too to an extent as well. You really do learn a lot on set. There's always something to learn.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And I feel like it's a big power conversation to be had too, because it's like who gets to get on set is who gets to proceed down this lane of, this matriculative lane where we're like, okay, who gets to improve, basically. So now we're able to inspire our own creations. We're able to create our own universes and feature people that we believe in who, I love the amount of improvisers and stand-ups and all these people that are popping up in community and through the medium of the internet able to get the reps in where they probably couldn't before. Josh Johnson had this great interview recently on Trevor Noah's podcast where he was like, "Oh, um, the industry used to fill the gap, but now you've got to chase it down with your audience. You got to chase it down with all of these other aspects." So, yeah. Now, on self tapes, I was wondering if you had any tricks, tips, or approaches on how not to freeze, force, or fade in the room.
I would say definitely take the time out to get your lines down, be solid with it, because if you're scrambling and all of that, you're gonna have more and more takes. Took me a while to get that together. Um, just really taking the time to study your character if you have the time, because I know auditions they come and you have to like get it in fast. Uh, but also just taking a moment to breathe a bit because your nerves will get the best of you even during self takes when it's just you and your reader. And I had to a couple times just step away for a minute, breathe a bit, and be like, okay, I'm gonna just do this many takes, and I'm gonna come back. And after taking that moment to myself, coming back, I was able to execute it and not, I guess, freeze. If that makes sense.
Hmm.
Because it's like if you have it all down and you are calm enough to do it, you won't be, I guess, your mind won't be going like 100 miles per hour, causing you to stumble or freeze or anything.
Yeah. And it feeds into a time management conversation where you cordon off that sacred time for preparation. Even if, just like you're saying with these short timelines in submission, that time doesn't necessarily exist. That 72-hour window, of that 72-hour window, probably have a work shift plopped in there. You probably have a commute plopped in there. So it's all about, being able to, you know, it almost feels like a supplemental little battery pack along with the big well of the work where it's like, oh, okay, I can jumpstart myself into preparation mode, which is something we can all iterate on and, we can all work on because the work's a universe in itself. And that's why I love it as a self-mastery tool. That's why, I mean, it's hard not to love it because it's all I've grown up with, but it's that's why I love to discuss it.
I get that.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, on the time management conversation, I didn't expect for techno-feudalism to like show up on our doorstep and suddenly it's like we're the op for them. So I'll explain. Where it's kind of like the more attention they ask of us,
Mm,
the less time we have to observe life, cultivate a perspective, and do our own work, which, as we said earlier, is the medicine.
yes.
Is one, what we're here to do on Earth, why we're paying all this rent, why we are working to be in proximity to the productions that, are enjoying their own kind of renaissance. And now it's like one thing that I love to say is that the tech bros only want acting class. They yearn for the levels of connection that we're able to achieve when we're in a scene.
Right.
Yeah, but the only thing we can do is, create more at bats for ourselves and others. Now, do you have any influential films that like ones that are just not particularly great films, not ones that sometimes you could even hate watch things that are influential to you. But like, do you have like a short list?
Um, I mean, I do watch a lot of films. Like if there's something releases, I'll go and watch it and I'll just watch it from an actor's eye.
Hmm.
But I mostly like pull a lot of my influence from TV shows.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, those two, of course.
But from films, I would say hmm, Blood Diamonds is a film that I really like.
Ooh, yeah. That's a great one.
And I really liked what's the name of that film? All Dogs Go to Heaven. I know it's like a cartoon, but
No, that's wonderful. Don Bluth is awesome creator.
and I also liked Shiloh, Leon the Professional.
Hmm.
They're like really old movies, but I feel like you can really learn a lot from old films and things like that. It's the way that it's like a realness to it that I can't put my finger
Hmm. I feel like it kind of goes back to what Samuel L. Jackson was saying about, you know, the decline of film as a craft, again paraphrasing, when we switched to digital. So there's something about the tangibility, and you burn through Cruise, which was his main point, but also when we're talking about like film in the 80s, 90s, 2000s, we're really discussing the height of the art form, kind of this opportunity for technology to catch up with the ambition and social commentary of the filmmakers. So, my little short list here. I really loved High Fidelity from 2000. John Cusack, and John Cusack does a great job. Like, well, one, he has a partial screenwriting credit on it, which I was obsessed with. But two, he's doing this like Ferris Bueller talk to the camera situation throughout the movie.
Breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah, yeah, very much breaking the fourth wall, and he's leading an ensemble in a really cool way, and it even brings up some interesting. Uh, Probably unintended commentary with the inclusion of Lisa Bonet's character, and then the later adaptation of High Fidelity with Zoe Kravitz in it in like 2018, 2019. So that was a fun little rabbit hole to go down. Another really influential movie for me was Johnny Mnemonic with Keanu Reeves, and then also Crimson Peak, because I love me some gothic romance.
See, you know what? I need to I need to add those to my list.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, we're all here to exchange. I've been meaning to watch Blood Diamonds. I remember seeing it when it came out, but you know, it's like I wasn't conscious baby at the time. So I need to watch it with an actor's eye, just like you said. I do stay pretty up on current releases as a result of having an AMC A list and having some movie buddies and, you know, having a job that lets me out at a time where I'm like, okay, guess I can't like go to a rave because I got to work in the morning. Guess I can't like go do, you know, go sit in a park because the sun's going down. So I might as well see a movie, get home, reset. So that's kind of a good rhythm to have.
I try to see like at least one movie every week.
That's awesome. Yeah. And then on TV side, I really love Trust Me. It's this one season show about advertising executives that I've been obsessed with since I was 12. Yeah, it ran on TNT or something. Yeah, it's yeah, the guy who plays Reverse Flash, he's one of the guys. But basically it's a really cool like two-hander situation. Burn Notice, of course, Game of Thrones. So those are my favorite TV shows.
Everyone's saying watch Game of Thrones.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you haven't seen it yet?
I played the game, but I didn't watch the series.
Which game? If there's a
But
good game. Oh,
Telltale, they made a game about it.
gotcha. Okay, yeah, Telltale does a great job. I'm a big fan of Telltale. Yeah. Okay. But I mean, if you've played like if it's a Telltale retelling of say like up until well, through season one, I'll say, then it's good. But now it's like just seeing what we've been able to do with the worlds of the Seven Kingdoms, particularly in A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. I'm gonna say an unpopular opinion because I'm like, I like A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms a little better than House of the Dragon. So when you get into the George R. R. Martin verse and stuff, it's been about 15 years of cultural hegemony he's enjoyed, but we'll see.
I definitely need to dive into that because he has so many things that I feel like I need to watch.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's the thing about taste making. It's like finding an opportunity to um, onboard other people's suggestions, but also just be like, no, this is where I stand 10 toes down, and this is my list. So, it's all good. Yeah, how would you summarize your journey so far?
Um, it's definitely not a linear one. It has its ups and downs, and you know, the thing that I learned early on, you just have to learn how to pivot.
Hmm.
What may have worked a year ago may not work now. So you have to always just stay on your toes and keep thinking and be ready so you don't have to get ready.
Oh yeah.
You may never know when you get like an audition, or if you, I've been on set where I memorized the entire script and they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna make changes.
Mm-hmm.
A whole other thing. I'm like, oh
Oh
man,
yeah. You get a whole new page or just one little line on it, like, oh, thank you, 9A.
it's definitely unexpected. But then I'm like, okay, you know what? I get it. I'll
Mm-hmm.
part.
No, I get you. That's beautiful, you know? And what are some barometers of success that you hold for your craft?
Mm, I try to focus on what I can control because it's easy to get caught up in what everyone else is doing, trying to compare yourself, stuff like that. So I try to focus on what I can change and what I can do, like not beating myself up on what I did in the past, like, oh, you know what, I could have did this better, I could have did that. Just really realizing, okay, I showed up, I did what I could do in that moment. There's nothing I can do about it. I just have to keep moving and go on to the next thing. And obviously just finding ways to always be consistent, even when I'm just not feeling it, whether it be
Mm,
movie or reading a script or even writing, just always trying to stay consistent and connected to the craft in any way possible, you know.
oh, that's amazing. And yeah. And how do you feel like you sustain yourself in the craft, sustaining your investment?
Um, mm, it's actually, I guess the best way I could say, like, how am I supporting myself in
Oh,
my,
no, 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 no. Like sustaining your investment in like, okay, I wake up today, I'm like, I'm gonna change someone's heart and mind.
oh, um, I mean, it's just the passion and drive that I feel that just keeps me going. Because, I mean, that's the reason why a part of the reason why I wanted to start this is because I wanted to give people a voice who don't normally have one.
Hmm.
And I wanted to create something that I would be proud of and that is driven by my passions, and just showing people that, hey, you can do this too. You don't have to go the way that everyone says that you have to go.
Absolutely. Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah. Now, they could be modern, they could be passed on, but what are some of your greatest performer inspirations?
Um, I really like William Dafoe and I like Troy Baker.
Yeah. Yeah, Defoe's amazing. Oh my gosh. And he's like he's just been with us the whole time. And then you look back at like, Temptation of Christ and stuff, and then you look at Spider-Man, and then you look at,
See,
and you look at Nosferatu, and you're like, what will we do without William Dafoe?
he's like the glue that holds things together.
He is the genuine article. We
Yeah.
are Defoe stands here. It's great stuff. Yeah. And yeah. So it's like, who are some dream folks you have to collab with? We have Quinta Brunson to point at in terms of like anything's possible. So through the Quinta lens, say you make it Abbott, who are you casting?
I mean, I definitely would want to collab with her.
Mm-hmm.
Kiki Palmer,
Mm-hmm.
again, Eric Andre. Um, a lot of like the people I met along this journey, like a lot of them are very talented. Monique Mose, uh, dang, it's kind of hard. Nina, I forgot her last name. It's just a lot of people that I have known throughout this entire process that I've seen grow, they just do a very amazing job.
Oh,
It's
that's so great. Yeah, I mean, that's the dream to be like, hey, I vibe with these people. I want to step forward in this journey in community. Yeah. Now, could you tell us more about Rich Interior Lives?
yes. So it's about a woman who hosts the dinner party to thank her crush that saved her life, but she's trying to prove that he may have superpowers. It's kind of like a dark thriller type of film.
Okay.
Um, I play Bobby, and I'm having to face her crush that she's trying to invite over from.
Mm.
So it's
Oh,
just
wow.
an interesting watch. You'll probably like finish watching, you'll be like, hmm,
That's awesome. I'm like even just off the description, I'm inclined to think of like The Man from Earth, where it's like everybody gathers together and speculates on somebody on their colleague being immortal, basically. And some other, really cool comps where I'm like, oh yeah, that's a really cool remix and something we haven't seen before.
yeah, it's
Yeah, I'm excited for it. Like even in the whimsical space, it's like my super ex-girlfriend. Yeah, but
oh,
I'm excited for you. How can we support your project?
sorry, say that again.
How can we support your project?
It is now available to watch on Tubi.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm gonna go check it out. Awesome. And how can we support you? What's next for you?
I right now I'm focusing on training and just getting better at updating my tools that I can use on set. Um, I guess support just by I don't I'm not really
Okay. That's cool. Well, thanks for chatting with us today, Kai. It's so fun. You brought some great perspective, and I'm glad people are, out here able to witness your journey and doing it.
thank you. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. And thank you for those movie recs. I need
Of
to.
course. No, yeah, we'll keep on chatting. We're always here. Best part about community is it's always growing.
That is true.
Yeah. But thanks for joining us.
Thank you.